Hello everyone. This is my week 3 wrap up where I'm going to talk about things that were either good or not so good, things we need to change or do better, or what you're doing very well. So I will jump right into it. I have my list. Um, let's see. So if you have a direct quotation in your writing, you must provide either a page or paragraph number. Some of you are still not doing so, and it's actually considered plagiarism if you don't cite correctly. So any mistakes in citations is plagiarism, just because you're not technically alluding to the source the way formatting requires. So please be sure, in addition to the author's name and the year, and not the month, just the year, that you also provide at the end of the quotation the page or paragraph number, or if it's a video or audio file, that you also provide the timestamp. So if it's a YouTube video, when in the video, 3 minutes and 22 seconds, whatever, did the quotation start. So you also have to provide timestamps, like I said, page, paragraph numbers. Okay, I was looking at the reference formatting this week, and a lot of them are in your reference, the last name and the first two initials, and then all the authors after that have their initials first and then the last name. So what I got to thinking is maybe some of you are using the suggested citation from the source. So you're reading the article or whatever it is online, and it'll say cite this source, and you go to APA and it gives you the reference. Well, sometimes that is not correct, and I'm not sure why. Maybe they're using some past edition, I'm not sure. But it's okay to copy what they have, but then you need to go ahead and fix. So fix what, if they've done something incorrectly. So don't just rely on what the source gives you. And even though they say it's APA, it might not be correct. So go ahead and check it and fix it if it's not 100% correct. But don't just take, the journal's word for it, because, they may be wrong, and then that makes you wrong. I've recommended a couple of websites to you. Well, I have a whole post of APA URLs that can help you format correctly. But, I've talked about my favorite is APA Style. Next favorite is Purdue OWL. Excelsior OWL is also very good. Of course, the Learning Resource Center. But, some of you are making giant strides in your formatting, and you didn't need me to do that. You just needed a little push. But some of you are just making the same errors over and over. As much as I correct them, you still make those errors, and I don't like to see that at this point in your master's program. When you're talking about 50-10 students, 2/3 of them aren't going to come back. So I kind of see it like, well, if they don't care, that's probably because they're not coming back. But for you, you are clearly on your way to a master's degree. And so I want you to care more than it seems like you do, because I don't want to send you out there with a University of the People master's degree and, you don't even care about formatting. So, just like your students, your students run into things and they don't care about it, and it shows in their work. But I don't like to think that about graduate students. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is. I'm always happy to meet with you one-on-one, and we can go through whatever you want to. If you're just not understanding the corrections I'm giving you, I am perfectly happy to meet and explain all that, anytime, as long as I'm not asleep, I guess. But just please take my words to heart. And I know that, like I said, most of you are. I mean, I don't even worry about, edits with you. But some of you just, you're taking up a lot of my time. So again, now it's week 4. I'm not going to do that very explicit feedback in the discussion forum. I'm going to pull back some in the portfolio. I still have a few of you. I need to give you edited papers from your written assignment in week 2. I have just been really overwhelmed with all my UO people stuff, and then my day job. So it's taking me some extra time, longer than I like, but I will finish that up hopefully this weekend. Okay, this week in particular, there was a lot of plagiarism. And, I run through every single assignment, particularly in the first 4 weeks, because I'm trying to get an idea of who does not understand plagiarism. I thought it would be a lot better in 5270 because, again, you're advanced graduate students, but there's some major cheating going on, not by many of you, but by a few of you. What I noticed this week was you were copying your discussion post into your portfolio activity because the questions were pretty similar, but you're not allowed to do that. So I have a post in the announcements forum that talks about self-plagiarism, and that is self-plagiarism. Even though your paper is not technically published, it is. Once you release it into Moodle, it is now, for in all intents and purposes, published. So you cannot just recycle what you've already put in a paper without permission. Now, somebody in my 5910 class said, hey, I need to do that. And I said, hey, I understand it. I mean, you've been working on your study for at least 16 weeks. So yeah, of course you're going to repeat, and that's no problem. But in this class, I should not see that. Particularly, your week 2 written assignment goes into your week 3 portfolio assignment, or like I said, your week 3 discussion post. So if that happened to you, I graded your portfolio activity as if that material were not there, and so some people are going to see some low grades. So it's week 4 now, unit 4, and the time for zeros and reporting to the university is here. So if you are someone who is continuing to plagiarize, you are going to start suffering some major consequences, which could lead you, not to pass the course. So I know I'm only talking to a handful of you, but you need to listen, okay? Okay, in the portfolio activity, I'm going to say this, I'm not sure it's going to come out right. Most of you are writing too much. So, for example, the prompt was to talk about 2 approaches that you would like to use in your classroom. And a lot of you, talked about instructional or inquiry-based learning or project-based learning or flipped classroom, whatever it was. And in the reflection, or in the portfolio activity, it is a reflection. It is a conversation between you and me. So you don't need to rewrite an essay on the approaches. And I think that's why there was so much plagiarism, is you were like, I don't know what more to say about this. And I get it. Well, you didn't need to. So, the portfolio activity is really honing in on the readings and how you are improving because of the course material, because of the discussion forum, because of what you're learning from each other. So it's not so much about the theory. It's, practically, how is this helping you? So, I don't count off there's no word limit for me. And so I'm not going to count off like I would in your written papers or your discussion post. And I grade what you have, but just it's not. You don't need to spend so much time. I am more interested in knowing how what you are studying is affecting you as a teacher or future teacher. And I gave you some of you the feedback when you didn't show reflection or that you were reflecting. You're just telling me facts and a narrative. So I said, what's changed? What did you do and what are you going to do now? And what are you going to try? And quite honestly, the people who waited to write their portfolio activity toward the end of the week did much better than those who turned in their portfolio activity, Sunday or Monday. And that's because the portfolio activity is designed to be a culmination of the week, or in this case, 3 weeks. So, I don't mean to come across that, I'm never happy with the portfolios because several people got 10s. I just want you to hone in on that rubric and the writing prompt and integrate them. But what I'm saying is you don't have to go into a long diatribe like you would for an essay or your discussion forum. Okay. But don't stress out about how many words you're writing. If that helps you to talk and talk and talk about, approaches or whatever the prompt is, that's fine because I'm reading it. Just don't feel like you have to rehash what you've already told us in the discussion forum and in your written assignment. Okay. So what I really enjoyed this week and in the portfolio were your examples of constructivist approaches. I will say I got a lot of good ideas. Like if I ever get back to the classroom, I am definitely going to keep some of your assignments in mind, depending on the grade levels I teach. Now, somebody talked about in their portfolio that, it was kind of hard to find like lesson examples and activities using a constructivist approach. So, I suggested to that person that those of you who are interested, form some kind of group and get you a Google Drive or something and store lesson ideas. Doesn't matter the grade level. You probably should put like this works. I did this in grade 2 or whatever. Almost like a teachers pay teachers, if you're at all familiar with that. But of course, we're not going to charge each other. But some of you have just some great, I think there are 2 of you who teach PE, and I'm just like, wow, I would never have thought of PE as teaching critical thinking. But, because of the, activities or what, whatever lessons you're talking about, it's like, wow, I see how that would require the students to think critically. Somebody was talking about their older learners would design kind of like sports day for the younger ones. And what a great project. So it's just things like that. So, you might just put in the course forum, hey, if anybody's interested in forming this little small group and exchanging lesson ideas, set it up. You could make a separate notebook in Evernote and share that, although I understand sometimes in China, I think it is that, you have to have a VPN to get Evernote and then it doesn't always work. And so, whatever works for you, that's just a suggestion from me. So I think that was about it. Like I say, I am sorry that all my grading has taken a while. I have spread myself too thinly this term. I volunteer with 2 classes and then I do lots of other things for the university, and then I have my full-time job. So I apologize if grading has taken a little longer, but with not providing that really explicit feedback, at least the discussion forum is going to go faster. Secondly, remember that with your written assignments, I always go through and look at the assessment grades and see if there are score variances or things that I disagree with. And so I'll be starting that for the week 2 assignments because, they ended with week 3. So I'll be doing that this weekend. And, as far as your assessment grades, where you get up to a 10, if you, are penalized by Moodle because you didn't grade like your other 2 assessors, but I feel like your grading is either more valid or as valid, I will raise that assessment score because I don't want you to be penalized. If you don't provide substantive feedback, so you just say, 8 out of 10, good job, I'm going to subtract points because you're not helping the writer. So, you are a graduate student, and that's what my expectations are for you. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Tomorrow is our regular Teams meeting at 10 o'clock. So Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. If not, that is no problem. I will hopefully remember to record. If some of you who are on the meeting will remind me of that, then I will definitely do it. So with that, I will see you in the course room.